Welcome back to my channel, guys. We're here. I know I said I was gonna post the report like a while ago. It is currently the 12th of May, and it doesn't matter, bro, because this is my channel. I thought about that. I was like, you know what? There's no timeline. Like, just me, bro. So, anyways, I was trying really hard to perfect this report, but honestly, this ain't school. These are my thoughts, bro. So I wrote it down. I got a couple of pages and I got a new plan. So let's get right into it. So what is telepathy? That was the initial question. If we look at the Merriam-Webster dictionary, we see that it's communication from one mind to another by extrasensory means. Now, it would have to be a sixth sense making it possible. In other words, intuition, right? An uncanny ability to know something without direct evidence. No. When it comes to topics like these, people tend to be content with either writing it off as impossible or, if experienced firsthand, inexplicable. Now, I think that's crazy because, we live in a world of science, right? Everything has a reason, bro. I think we know at this point that it's crazy, bro. There's nothing is a coincidence. Literally nothing, bro. Nothing. So what makes you think that our humanity, our everything, our life experience, is the exception? Why is it that when it comes to psychic abilities, there is not enough research to explain the concept? Maybe it's just not public. Do we really think that there is no one in the whole history of the entire world who hasn't figured it out yet? That's another question. So, like I said, I feel like a real scientist looks for an answer, especially a concept with potential of having such positive outcomes. I think this could change the world, right? I genuinely think this could change the world. So, sixth sense. I said that telepathy was possible through the sixth sense, right? The National Institute of Health does identify one proprioception as a sixth sense. This allows us to keep track of where our body parts are in space. Now, what does that tell you? That tells you that scientifically, you are able to develop the sense of understanding exactly where you stand in the 3D, right? And this tells me that there is no public scientific research explaining telepathy is real. I looked everywhere and it's just pseudoscience. It's not real. Like, it can't be explained. Like, it's just written off. So the research begins. One of the most common ways people can get visions or premonitions is through dreams. Dreams happen mostly during REM, rapid eye movement sleep, which is identified as moments of high brain activity and rapid eye movements. What is causing this high activity? We have 4 to 6 sleep cycles per night, and they range in length from a few minutes to half an hour, exponentially increasing. You can expect a higher heart rate, higher blood pressure, higher brain activity, increase of breathing, and even the immobilization of muscles and limbs. Let's keep that in mind. Okay, so why would dreams have anything to do with telepathy? Today I'm going to break down the thought process. So for dreams to be able to tell the future, you would have to be connecting to something. Something in the world would have to be relaying this message to your brain, because that's how you think, right? Now, I believe that the first mistake people make is jumping to the conclusion that it is one source. But, I think the answer is what isn't. What is not hitting your noggin, bro? Everything. According to science, everything around us is made up of atoms. Atoms can be moved with temperature changes, electromagnetic forces, and chemical reactions. Guys, this happens all around us every single day. Atoms are always vibrating unless they are at exactly 0 temperature in the Kelvin scale. And these vibrations are in the terahertz. So this is in between the microwaves and the infrared on the scale of, right? The concept of this scale is reserved under the study of quantum physics, okay? So we're already little tiny atoms, okay? We're looking into that tiny scale. Something many of us take for granted is that everyday cells are constantly at work, replacing themselves, doing whatever they do, all made up of millions, even trillions of atoms. Now imagine the vibrations emitted by every single atom multiplied by a human population of 8.3 billion. Okay? Imagine that plus the atoms of every animal, every planet, every gas, everything in existence is made up of atoms. All of these vibrations are in the air that we don't feel. That to me is insane. There's so much going on everywhere. Literally me like doing this, bro, is moving the atoms around. The gases, bro, like everything is moving. I am changing the universe by existing. So are you. So is everything. This being still, you breathing in, breathing out. Everything is changing, and you're telling me that we don't feel any of this? But what if I told you that you can feel everything? All of these vibrations are affecting you every day. I need to stop going off the script. This is where my theory starts. For human telepathy to be real, we would have to connect on a wavelength. Now, the human genome, for one, is 99.9% identical to any other person that you will ever meet. If 99.9% of atoms vibrate at the same frequency, because again, it's like the same code, wouldn't that connect us like at some point? The theory is that to telepathically connect with another human being, we would have to grow sensitive to vibrations of all levels. You would also have to be able to sense whether the vibration is incoming or being reflected. At this point in time, there is no scientific way that explains what process is necessary to get there. Again, there are people that religions or people have spiritual practices, which is kind of the new path I'm going to go down to, because there has to be an explanation for all of that as well. Anyways, with that being said, to increase sensitivity to vibrations, I think we would have to start with those felt by our 5 senses, the ones that we know. But we can't assign anything until we understand the difference. So what's the plan? What's the plan? Let me tell you. So me personally, I think of ourselves like tuning forks. Our bodies are the tuning fork. And they're constantly at that vibration with your cells. So that's never going to stop. That's always going, or else you'd be freaking dead. But the vibrations collected by our senses all go through our brain. Okay, so our body is separate from our brain, because the brain is the one making all the decisions. The brain is the one sending those electrical, doing the synapses and all that, okay? So therefore, the first frequency that we must identify, theoretically, in my brain, is that of the still brain. We need our tuning fork to be still as possible. This was by reasoning as to why I tried breathing techniques before sleep. I believe that this would allow my brainwaves to slow down and then be able to interpret these vibrations in the format of a dream. So I thought this was a direct translation of the outer world. And the more relaxed that I was, the easier and the more interpreting I'd be able to do. This interpretation should therefore allow me to access the frequencies at the very instant I am asleep. One thing I have yet to understand is how I am able to dream situations that have yet to happen. So far, I have made it a routine to write down all dreams and record it as a log. These logs are public, and I interpreted them as I felt appropriate at the time being. Most of them seem to reflect my feelings I felt in waking life. Although sometimes scenarios would play out in real life, not play for play, but feeling-wise. I also tried focusing on specific subjects and attempted to dream what I wanted to, but that never happened. Looking back, that wasn't even a proper experiment. I just got some data with no controls. So essentially what I'm saying in that part is I didn't really have like scientific anything. Like I had an idea, obviously, like I went to school and I kind of understand a couple of things, but I didn't have a specific like thought process as to why that would work. But from the looks of it, most of the dreams that I have had, and I was able to correlate to an event that happened in real life either before. No, I've never been, well, recently I haven't had that I remember a dream that correlated to anything in the, like, play by play happened something. I haven't had a dream that has shown me a specific scene of my life in the past. I've only been able to have dreams of things that are gonna happen or how I'm gonna feel, right? So I try to focus on the physical aspect, and that didn't work. While I've been working on this report, there has been a few new thoughts being developed. If the vibrations are hitting me in my sleep and the dreams are occurring during REM, my body should be paralyzed at this point because, you know, during REM, like I said earlier, it can like still your muscles. This would be my tuning fork. Like I said, your body is a tuning fork. So that tuning fork is as still as it can humanly be while you're asleep, right? The vibrations being displayed as I process emotions, bringing together memories and dream. My brain is storing these vibrations. So anything that is, because again, I'm still assuming that there's vibrations hitting my brain, kind of stimulating this during my sleep, because wouldn't you be the most vulnerable when you're in like that perfect tuning fork, right? Because right now I'm like, you know, I'm living, I'm moving around, like I'm not still, I'm talking. That is like emitting its own wavelength around me, so that affects things. So when you're very still, that's when you'd be the most sensitive. And I thought that your brain was storing them. And that was crazy until I came across, like that was a crazy thought to me, until I came across a video that explains step by step what happens after death. When the heart stops, your brain activity actually increases and remains consistent as it shows you your whole life through gamma waves. So yes, your brain is storing these vibrations, and it is storing them in a timeline where it's basically, your brain is basically preparing for death or for this moment. Like, it's just like a whole library. It's like Inside Out. And yes, I know that, like, you know, you can remember stuff. You know, I have memories, but I didn't know that, like, it was getting stored as a wavelength. I thought, or that it was being, yeah, stored as a wavelength, because then it's projected. Okay. And there is data that found that people who have had near-death experiences can vouch for the vision of, like, basically an autobiography, feelings of peace, leaving the body, and seeing a light. Okay. And I'm sure you guys have heard of these kind of concepts before. You've probably even experienced it. I know there's people out there that have had loved ones die. And, you know, many people, even like nurses or people working directly in the context of having to see this often, do report that, you know, they get this like surge of energy. They say goodbye to the people that they love. They know that's when the death is near, right? So what it's telling us that let me stay on the script, okay? Okay. So these experiences, and I'm gonna put I don't know if I'm gonna put them in MLA format, but I'm gonna put the links to the stuff that I did kind of review and sat and read and all that to get my little back. Okay. So these experiences change people and leave them in a more sensitive state. Okay, these people become like, it changes them for good. I haven't changed for good. Anyways, after I watched like this 2-hour video. The only thing that was playing in my head was this Indian guru. His name is Sadhguru, and my mom keeps up with him. He has this meditation, he has a bunch of meditation videos or like audios and stuff like that. But one that I hear my mom always playing, and I always hear him talking, he's saying, I am not the body. I am not even the mind. That made it click. Okay. If all these people are talking about how after death, because we used to assume that when the heart stops, like your body stops, and that's you being dead. But there's proof that it goes on even after minutes after your heart has stopped. These brain waves are active. There's just like a surge of activity. So technically you are not, like, your body is dead. Your body is dead. The only thing emitting is like straight wavelength, straight energy, gamma waves. So you are not your body, you are that energy. And my assumption is that what makes you you is your energy, and that this is your consciousness. We just inhabit these atoms, but once the physical fails, your consciousness leaves. And if your consciousness is energy, well, one thing we know about energy is you can't make or break it. My assumption is that it's just releasing back into the universe. Doesn't even have to be Earth, because I feel like, and I don't know why I'm saying I feel like, because I know for a fact that we feel the influences of the different planets. I mean, we're moving. Guys. And I'm not even trying to act like I found like this is like some spiritual wake. Like, I feel like I'm not the first person to come across these thoughts, but it's just like the science behind it. It's just like the world is just, science is just beautiful. I love science. Anyways, now what if I told you that these gamma waves are also known to be present during meditation and dreaming? So you technically could experience this near-death experience, like this whole thing, and you could do this through meditating and dreaming, or at least emit the same waves. Okay. This whole time, I didn't know, like, the whole technicality, and I didn't even actually get into the nitty-gritty of it. It's just like, I wanted to make this a little bit shorter, but I think you guys are understanding this concept a little bit better than when I initially started that first video. I was like, what is telepathy? That was not science. That was just kind of like, I was just throwing thoughts out there. This is a little bit more collected. Yeah. This whole time I didn't know all of this, but I had a feeling that's how it worked. And it's definitely, I'm definitely not the first. Even though I had an idea of what to do, my form of collecting data is going to change. So now that we understand that, we are not, our consciousness, which is basically a vibration that is stored in our brain, in the physical, in this world right here, this kind of raises a couple new questions for me. So, you know how I said I had a feeling that this is how it worked? Well, I feel like we all kind of have this feeling. We all have this vague understanding on how we work, and some people want to really get down to the science, but it doesn't. The further down the scientific rabbit hole you go down to, the more you realize that it's just like, we just don't know everything. And there is a cause, and there is a reason, and there is a function, and there is an equation, and we just don't know it yet. So I would like to find that equation. I would like to access this wavelength. I would like to become in tune. Like I said earlier, to be receptive to other people's vibration, I assume you have to understand and be in tune with your own so that you can differentiate, right? So my new goal is going to be just to do that. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to meditate every single day, and not just before I sleep. And actually, I mentioned before that I have been trying to do, like, breathing techniques and trying to relax. And I've just been a little bit more present in my life, even without knowing all of this. But it just, like, the actual feeling of me meditating and doing breathing techniques has helped me just be better. And meditating also helps, like, your cells and everything. So even though you are up here, you still have to take care of, this vessel. That's the best thing that you can do. So bam, we're gonna meditate every single day. I'm also gonna remove, I know I had like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday scheduled days for like education and trying to get down to the nitty-gritty of like math and technical and stuff like that. I'm gonna remove that, and I want to spend as much time just being present consciously, like just being in the time. Because also, if you are, and I had said this before, if we are a frequency and this is all getting stored in that frequency, like, right, when you think of calculus, instantaneous points in your life. If you are present in those moments of life at that exact time, I feel like your brain will store them much clearer, and you yourself will be able to kind of like scroll past these memories just like bam. So that would also allow me to hopefully have a more stable vibration as of right now. Because if you're calm and steady, I feel like it'll stay the same kind of height. One thing I'm also curious to know about and I would like to access, and this is kind of the goal now, is if I have access to this current frequency right now that I'm living, how would I be able to access, the frequency back here? And would I be able to access like my memories as a child? And what's crazy is that every time I sit down to do this whole thing, right here I have all of this, and when I look, like even me when I was getting my baptism, or me as like I remember this moment. The more that I look at these pictures, and the more that I think and think and think, I actually, and this is gonna sound insane, but I feel like it makes sense. I have been able to unlock more memories of my past, like as a child. And there are also like, your mind is very intelligent, like moments of trauma that you would like to forget, or you store them away. Your brain still stores them. That's why like the body knows because it carries that frequency. Your body is the one carrying that frequency, so you'll feel it. You'll feel it on your like literally everywhere. So I'm thinking that if I can stabilize this frequency in my head, my body will also stabilize, and I will therefore be healthier, make better decisions, right? And I don't know how I can measure that in like an experiment, but that's just me. I'm just a student of life. I'm gonna be the one experiencing that, and hopefully me sharing the fact that these thoughts helps clarify a little bit more for myself. This whole project is just for myself. I have a lot of questions. I'm very curious. I want to know everything in this world, everything. And I feel like that is possible, but I need to, in order to do that, I feel like the main thing I have to do is just focus on my current frequency. And I feel like it already has been this is me reflecting now. Okay, let me finish my plan. So I want to spend as much time just being present consciously. Then I will also have, I thought about frequencies that I can control around me, that I can hear, which is, the ones within the range. I think it's like 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. You can hear that. That's your hearing range. So I have a feeling that also affects you. And there has been so much research that shows, like psychology research that shows that sound affects you. And I mean, people with Alzheimer's, when they listen to music that brings back music, and the sound and those sound frequencies are so powerful. And I would also like to explore that as well. But again, like I can't go that far unless I know what my own is. So I'm going to try at night to play white noise, which is just a neutral, consistent kind of landscape. It's all of the wavelengths at an equal, at an, yes, all of them equalizes the vibration, so that at least that will stabilize the frequency in the air. And my theory is that if I do this, this will allow me to have even an even clearer image of what is going on in my brain, because, you know, it'll kind of tune out the outer noises and focus on what's going on there. I'm going to continue to record my dreams on paper like I've been doing. I just have like this notebook. I don't think I'm going to share them anymore. I was just kind of doing that initially to show you guys that I do dream consistently. This is, and everyone does. If you enter that REMs, everyone dreams. But I think it's crazy that not everyone remembers. So that was just me proving that I do remember, and that, I don't know, just the controlled data. If for whatever reason I change my mind, I don't think I will. I think I have different things to do on this channel rather than share I'm not even like telling you guys the real tea, bro. I'm like redacting all these names and like doing the absolute most. So yeah, and then I'm just also gonna allow myself to be more free in my thoughts, because I'm also thinking that, you know, if I am not this body and I am not this mind, what is telling me that, you know, my gamma waves don't extend further? Because we don't know, you know, we don't know how far they're hitting. So what is telling me that, like, there are some different waves extending to me, and this is like, this is where the idea of like a higher self comes into play. The higher self just being like that extent of that frequency. Where is it hitting? Where is aura, bro? Aura. So I'm gonna be looking more into that kind of stuff. I initially I didn't want to, because I was like, that is not scientifically based, but like, I can make it, bro. So that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna try. Okay. Yes, I'm gonna explore my thoughts, and I'm gonna try to explore those thoughts and try to justify them scientifically. Hopefully that will be good content. Hopefully that will be good videos. That will be what my channel consists of now. I will also be sharing just like what I'm doing in life, you know, kind of to show you guys what's surrounding me. But I think that if I listen to my thoughts, you know, okay, this is off the script. But you guys remember how I told you guys that that I was getting dreams that were telling me kind of what was gonna happen, and I've showed you guys examples and why I think that, and it doesn't really take too long for it to kind of come true or be that way. But I noticed that within my everyday life, it is becoming way more common for a question in my head to be answered in real life. Now, without me even asking, if I, let's say I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you know, what color dress should I wear to this function? Like, you know, I'm not really sure. Like, I just don't know what's going on. And then someone tells me, you know, I feel like that color looks really great on you. that color looks really great on you. It brings out like your eyes, or it brings out your skin tone. It really complements this. And they just kind of go on about it. They just kind of explain that to me. They just answered a question that I didn't even ask them. They just answered that for me. And I feel like that also has, that's another thing. Other things that I feel like happen a lot, and I would also like to explore. And I'm going to do more research, because this little report that I did right here, it was supposed to be like a 2-day thing. And I didn't even get to do everything that I wanted to do, but I had to put it down in basics, because this was going to take me like weeks to finish if I actually put in all the detail. And like, because I was citing my sources, I was adding quotes, I was doing a whole, like, what I would have done if I was in college for fun. And I realized, I was like, you know what, this is just supposed to be like a little report, like something calm. I don't know what I'm doing, but I want to explore that. Like, why is it that now more than ever, I'm getting immediate responses? I don't even have to go to sleep to get a dream to tell me what's gonna happen or what's going on or anything like that. And like, I also feel like life has become just like more like, it just feels like a movie. This past week, this past week has been wild. And I feel like me in the past, this would have stressed me out. This would have drove me crazy. This would have been like, but the more I look into this, the more that I allow myself to think. I feel like people are always telling people with ADHD to stop like thinking, like with the whole Adderall slows your brain down and stuff like that. When I was taking Adderall, I actually felt like a zombie and I didn't feel like myself. And I actually had physical reactions, even though chemically it's not supposed to be affecting me that way. It did, because I believe that it was messing with my mind and my natural like frequency, my natural state of being. That was not me. And that's an eerie feeling. That I also got that feeling when I was on antidepressants. Because chemically, you can do whatever you want to your body. Like, truly think about that. People have chemotherapy. They have like, lasers. I got RF. I go to the gym and I sit in the red light. Helps regenerate my cells. I could go get plastic surgery. Every day at work, I watch how we cut this open and then we like place a bone graft, and then your body like takes it in, makes a solid bone. Like, on a cellular level, like, we know this stuff, right? We know this stuff. But the thing that I cannot explain is like, why things play out the way that they do. And let me tell you guys everything that has happened. So in the span of, I think it was Saturday. Yeah, I think it was. Okay. Saturday. Oh, no. This started on Thursday, the 7th. This has been like a chain reaction. And I've been really calm. Anyways, on Thursday, I went to go watch a movie with my friend. We kicked it. And I lost my wallet. First loss already. My 2 cards, my ID, my Costco card, and my insurance. Okay. Something light, right? I was like, okay. This is something that would have freaked me out before. But I'm genuinely thinking that even those couple of minutes that I spend meditating and like just like being, I'm like, you know what? I'm still here, bro. Like, some calm, nonchalant. I lost my wallet. On Friday, oh my gosh, I fell down the stairs, bro. I fell down the whole flight of stairs in my house, and I hit this nerve right here. Like this. No. No, I think, okay, I fell and hit this nerve right here. And I hit my arm, my rib, my leg. There was no bruises at all. At all. But I was in so much pain. And I was like, I fell down. And I already had plans for the weekend. I had plans for Friday. And yeah. So I fell down the stairs on Wednesday. My arm is like all shaky, all like I'm trying to hold something, like, you know, and I thankfully I have doctors at work that kind of they told me, they're like, don't freak out, you know, this is a nerve right here and this can cause like tickliness, numbness, and like pain, and just this whole left side really hard. That also didn't even faze me when I was falling down the stairs. Before then I would have been like, bro, like, oh, like I would have crashed out. And I realized my first thought while I was falling, I was like, boom, 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 falling down the stairs. All I was thinking, I was like, okay, physically, what can I do to soften this up? I pretended to be a stunt double, and I actually genuinely feel like that helped. I relaxed myself, and I was able to fully relax. I'm telling you guys, I bruised so easily. I have this big bruise right here because I don't even know if you guys can see it, but I have this bruise right there. And I bruise so easily. I have bruises on my arm that have never gone away. Like, I didn't bruise at all. Yes, today it actually went away. Today was the final day. That tingling numbness went away. I'm able to grip more. I actually went to the gym, did some lifts. You know, I'm back on the grind. Okay. Wednesday I fall. Thursday, my wallet. I lost my wallet. I went to go pick up my friend. Went to grab some pizza. Went to go watch the Michael Jackson movie. Didn't even know what was going on, right? So on Friday, I go out with my friend again, and you know, we went out, we had fun, and I had this whole like, there was this whole situation, right? And usually I would be really, really embarrassed, and I would have been really ashamed, and I would have thought, like I'm a bad friend, like blah blah blah, like I suck, bro, I'm never going out again, like never. I didn't have that reaction. I apologized. And, you know, I was like, you know, I did my thing, but we were both cool. Matter of fact, I woke up the next day with her. I stayed at her house, and I'm also like an early bird. I wake up really early. I wake up at like 5, 6 a.m. But I'm not even like, I brought my passport with me to the function because I lost my ID. I would have never done that before. And it was on some calm, nonchalant. The next day, I wake up pretty late, and you know, I'm thinking, it's about to be Mother's Day on Sunday. Like, I had been planning on getting a gift, and that's actually why we hung out on Thursday. And then, we spent these whole 3 days together. I just realized it. That's love, bro. That's love. Anyways, yeah, so we're kicking it. I see something on my phone, and it's like an event going on near where she lives. And so I'm like, F it, let's go, bro. We're looking this up. We're getting ready. Mind you, this is all calm, bro. Like, usually, like, most of the times, I be stressing about time. I be stressing about, like, this needs to be this way. This needs to be that way. Like, I feel like my mind has genuinely calmed. Anyways, we look up the event. The event is actually over. And can't even go. But it was near Pike Place. So I'm thinking, okay, like, I couldn't find anything for my mom. And at this point in time, back in the day, I would have been stressing. My mom's gonna hate me. My mom's gonna think I'm like, I hate her. On some calm, all I said to myself was like, if I need to buy my mom a gift, that gift will come across and I'm gonna buy it. But if there's nothing, you know, all I can do is, you know, share my time with her. And my mom will be happy. I felt that. I genuinely felt that in my heart. Before, like, you know, my mom would have said these things, I wouldn't believe her because I'm just thinking, like, you know, logically speaking, logically. I've always been like that. I've always been like, logically. Overthinking. I haven't spun my head around much other than for this, and I've been genuinely enjoying it. Okay, bam. We end up going to Pike Place. I walk in. They're about to close down. I'm seeing some flowers right there. Right in my budget. They're beautiful. They're exuding my mom. My mom doesn't like flowers, like fresh flowers. She feels kind of bad. But, and I usually don't really get her flowers because I'm just like, you know what? There's a negative connotation. But something in my heart was like, you know what? Get her these flowers. These are dried flowers. They're beautiful. I got them for her. She loved them. As we were walking down, we walked by this fossil and stone galleria. I had seen this before and I had said I'm gonna come back, but it just kind of looked too expensive for me. I thought I had, again, before I had a lot of limiting, like, okay, I'm not even gonna go in that place because I can't afford it. This time I walked past it once and I was like, we're coming back. Come back. Literally walk in. One of the most beautiful, by the way, this gallery is Fossil and Stone Fine Arts Gallery. It has like a bunch of work from this mostly one artist, from crystals. I knew there was like crystals in there, but like oh my gosh, when I entered there, the actual feeling of like the presence of the store and everything, it almost brought me to tears. And my mom has mentioned that, you know, some of the crystals give her like these emotions, and I always doubted that. I always was like, how can a rock make you feel some sort of way? Like, but again, like, you know, if we are like, let's say I die and my vibration goes away, my consciousness goes away, where does that go? What is telling you that it's not going into a stone? Like, that energy, and I feel like, and I know that stuff carries energy regardless. Like, technically, yeah, that can make sense, but even then, like, to that magnitude, to like kind of bring me to like an emotional state, oh my gosh. And I had never ever felt so calm in the presence of so much. Anyways, went around, and I love whales. First thing I see, like a skull of a whale. I love whales, and I'm telling you, my life is like, I feel like it's just guiding me where I need to go. And the less I think about it, the more, the better I feel. Anyways, I look up and I'm looking around, and like, you know, there's like a bunch of beautiful stuff, and like, you know, I'm thinking, okay, like, I'm gonna get her one of these, one of that. My eye shifts over this one. I see the whale. I literally sit there and I'm just like, bro, like, I get hella emotional. I love whales. Like, whales are like, I love whales. And I'm looking at that head and I'm just like, I'm feeling very emotional around that little whale. My friend's looking around, you know, we're doing the whole thing. And then I'm like, I don't know, like, what it is. I just start admiring everything, and I feel like I relax myself. My sight kind of moves around, and then it lands on a stone, bro. It was a green obsidian. I've never even heard of that before. And I wasn't thinking too much of the gift, but when I saw that, I was like, I have to get it, bro. It literally looked like like a Minecraft diamond. It was like beautifully carved into like a fire shape, kind of looked like the blue fire. And you know, got that blue fever, cold as ice, still get me up. And like a Mariah the Scientist. Anyways, I see this like flame, and I'm just like, bro, like immediately I get this feeling, bro. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. My friend's telling me, you know, you should look around. I tell her, no, bro, this is the one. I grab it, and I feel like the cold, because you know crystals are cold, right? I feel the coldness of it. I start looking at the description. It's from Mexico. It's the green, like. And you know, this year, Mother's Day felt like at a perfect time, because I was thinking Mother's Day in like Mexico, or the way that we celebrate it, is always on May 10th, regardless of what day it is. This year, in America, it was the same time and day. So I thought that was pretty meaningful. Brought that up front, checked it out, had the flowers, had this crystal my mom was gonna love. It was just like such a beautiful presentation, such a great feeling. Pack it up, you know, they tell me that there's a certificate. I put thanks as the title of the gift. May 10th, 2026. Green obsidian. Take it home. My mom loves it, bro. That feeling that I felt in the store of like, she's gonna love it, was the feeling I felt. And my mom, like, this is like insane, bro, but like, it is gonna sound insane. I don't like hugs, or I don't like when people touch me. Like, I'm just not like, I'm very sensitive to that kind of stuff. I'm very particular about who and what, whatever, right? And I try to set that boundary, and you know, it's never been like, we're not the type of family to be like, I love you, right? My mom grabs me, she gives me a hug, bro. And that was like one of the most genuine, like I felt like a kid, bro. Like, I genuinely felt like a kid, and it was such a beautiful moment. Bam. Anyways, but while I'm at the store and I'm checking out, I'm looking at the jewelry, and I tell the lady, like, you know, I'm just trying to be on, like, just keep up a conversation while she's trying to make this gift look really nice. And I tell her, I'm like, ooh, I'm like, any of that gold, you know, I need to up my gold game. Next thing I know, I don't know if you guys know me, but I carried this silver chain with like a purple pendant right there. And it was an amethyst. And again, I don't really like beforehand. Yes, I would wear it. Like, my mom would give me something and I would wear it. She'd be like, this is protection. Like, you know, like a kid, like, you know, if you can see them, they wear it. They don't know what it is. They don't care. It was like that. And I really did. Like, I had such a time. I never took that chain off. As soon as I said, I need more gold in my life, the only silver I had, gone. I lost it. The hell? That was insane. Literally, immediately. And I keep really good track of it. It's just like a calming thing. And there's like this thing that I've heard people say, that, you know, when you no longer need a crystal, or like it's done its job, it goes away. I thought about that, and I didn't even, that attachment that I had to the necklace, like, I'm telling you, it was such a deep, I would wear everywhere. Gone. I was just like, okay, cool, like, it, you know, it served its purpose. Yeah, maybe I spent like a couple hundreds on it, you know. It wasn't a cheap, like, it was like silver, and then it was the actual pendant, it wasn't like cheap. But I didn't even care. And it wasn't like in a bad way. It wasn't, that would have drove me crazy. Things out of my routine drive me crazy. Didn't do anything for me. Anyways, I came home. It's fine. I'm telling you, this is a series. Like, it has been a series of events, and I'm I'm still calm. I'm over here in my room singing Wicked. My room is clean AF. My room smells good. I showered. I went to the gym in the morning. Anyways, what else happened? Okay, yes. So, again, today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. So, I'm trying to, deal with the repercussions. Obviously, there is, like, repercussions to losing your license and your card and all that. I might not feel that way about it, but I was really nonchalant. It was calm. I pull up to the bank. No, this is crazy. I'm going to tell you guys a story, okay? I didn't just pull up to the bank. This morning, I don't know why, I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired, bro. I have a bunch of little, like, carts. Little carts that they were just, like, I was just saving them. They had, like, a little bit like this. And then I also had, like, a disposable one. This morning, I woke up, grabbed them all, screwed off, put the battery away, took them to the gym with me, and I just threw them away. Again, that would have made me crash out back in the day. It didn't. I just did it. I just threw it away. And then I went about my day. I worked out, went in the red light sauna, to work, came back home. Oh, no. Okay. And now I'm, like, low-key kind of fiending, bro. At the end of the day, like, on my shift, unfortunately, that was my routine. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know what I was thinking. I just threw them all away. And by the time I'm coming back home, I'm thinking, you know what, I got money. Let me go and just, like, pick one up, right? I don't have a card. So I'm over here, I'm, like, hoping they take my passport at the dispo. Hoping they take my passport and hoping they take tap. I go in. I tell them I have 2 questions. Do you guys take tap? No. That means I gotta go to the bank first. So I head to the bank. As soon as I get to the bank, bro, tell me why smoke starts coming out of the ceiling of it, and I watch everyone at the bank evacuate. Okay, I'm, like, thinking, you know what? You shouldn't go to the dispo. You should not go to the dispo. I think this is telling you that you do not need to keep smoking. Right? Is it clear as day? I'm there. I wait for the firefighters to come. Because I'm, like, low-key, like, I do need a card, though. Like, I don't, like, what am I going to do with, places that don't take tap? Like, I also need to mark it as lost. And I need to do the whole process. Let them know, replace it, get credit card, everything, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm already here. They close at 6. The firefighters come. Everyone goes back in. I go in, get my card. Oh my gosh, this is so insane. I get my card, and you know how I lost everything? Like, everything? So, I don't know why I thought it was a good idea, but I moved all of my debit card funds and, like, everything to my credit card, and that was the one that I was using to pay everything. And I was gonna go to the bank, get my card, and then go back to the dispo. Tell me why the card with all my money, the credit card, they gave me my debit card. That one has no money on it. My credit card is the one with the money. They said that that's gonna take a week. I'm like, all right, bro. They're, like, deadass telling me, like, something in the air is telling me that, you shouldn't go back there, or at least not today. You need to take a break. I'm like, okay. At this point, I'm not even stressing, bro. I'm literally so calm, nonchalant. Okay. Like, fine. I'll go back home. I go home. as soon as I'm in the door, you know, they start telling me, like, you know, what's going on. Like, you know, I told them, I was like, hey, I went to the bank, got my new card, right? And my mom told me, which one of you guys is holding the devil's lettuce? Because I smelled it in your sister's room. And I told her, I was like, not me, bro. I don't store that. I don't keep that. Okay? I go into my sister's room. I'm like, the hell, bro? Like, why would it smell like that in your room? She's like, I don't know, like, blah, like, that wasn't me, like, none, like, it wasn't me. And I told my sister, I'm like, was it you? Like, I have 2 sisters. And I was like, you guys better not be going down that path. Like, it's bad. Like, I can 100% attest to the fact that that's bad. And I wouldn't recommend anyone get on it. It's just, like, it's just a habit, right? I bite my tongue. It's a bad habit. Anyways, they tell me, no, like, you know, I'm like, I was like, you guys tell me the truth or I'm gonna flip this whole room over. I'm not gonna look through all your guys' stuff. They tell me, no, it's literally not us. Like, my mom already searched the place. So I head downstairs and I go in my room and like my stuff is kind of moved. So my mom went through my stuff, and if I in the morning didn't have that, like, let me just throw all it away, she would have found something. That's crazy, because they were trying to be like, it's her, it's me, like, you know, they know, like, they know. I'm the fiend of the house, bro. Couldn't find anything, right? Setting a good example for the kids, everyone. Okay, I go upstairs, and then you know, I start acting like, you know, like a big sister. I'm like, bro, like, y'all need to lock in. Like, if I find out one of you guys is doing this, like, I'm like, we're gonna have to do regular, like, drug tests. I'm gonna pass a drug test. I'm gonna pass it. I was like, okay, y'all tell that to yourselves when you guys were in your future, right? Yeah. I'm like, that takes over you, and you, it's not easy to get rid of. And so that happened. I walk over to the living room, and at this point, I haven't even showered yet, bro. And I'm like checking. I'm putting my keys in like the dish, and then I'm looking at the mail because there's hella mail right next to the thing. And my parents are telling me, so you went to go get your card, but what about your ID? And I'm like, bro, like, you know, the ID, I don't want to go get my real ID. I'm like, I'm just carrying my passport. Looked it up. It's a, you know, good piece of ID. So I'm gonna go replace it. But I was like, I have no money, like, to replace it. Like, it's on, I can't even use the credit card because the credit card is marked as lost. And all the money that's on there is just, I can't use it until next week, or I get paid on Friday, so it'll be fine anyways. But I told him, I was like, I can't even do that, like, today. You know, I can't go to the DMV. But then I said, nothing's gonna happen, bro. You guys are tweaking out, blah, blah, blah. I go back to the mail. I see an envelope, and it says, like, the police department. And I'm like, I just look at it, and it says my name and the address, and I'm like, oh. And then my dad's like, oh, maybe they found your wallet. And I was like, right. I open it, and I got a ticket for at that same corner where I went to the bank. Yeah, I got a ticket right there because I overstepped the line, and that's where I stopped before I turned. And again, you know, this before would have shook my world, bro. And it didn't. You know, it didn't even like shake my dad or anything. Like, it was just like, I just took it. I was like, okay, like, you know, like I made a mistake. Like, life goes on. Nonchalant AF, bro. Go take a shower. Come downstairs. Life moves on. I work on this. Start recording this video. Another thing, I guessed. Another thing that's been really weird, that's been happening more and more often, is I'm a singer, bro. I be singing all the time. And people have said I sound like a soundboard and I do this and that. Now, you know, sometimes I be like, my friends have conversations and it's not even just like they say something, I hear a word and then I sing a song. Sometimes they just say something and I respond in song lyrics because I think that's the answer. And recently I've been having such crazy reactions. It's the most recent, like the one that I can think of most recently and most vividly is when my friend was telling me, she's like, yeah, what time are you coming? I have to go to the bank and I have a meeting at 3. And then I told her, I was like, I forgot the 21 Savage line. And I was like, I just went to my accountant, Ruth. She told me that that is way up, or my money's way up. And she's like, Ruth, did I tell you that my accountant's name was Ruth? Situations like that have been happening a little bit more often. So I don't know, guys. I don't have an explanation yet. But yeah, that's it. And I know I said this would be a call little video. It's not. That's what it is. So thank you so much. If you sat here through this whole gag, thank you so much. And I owe you $1. Let's go.